I have 12 books to get you through an entire year of reading. It's going to be a great year too because it goes from middle grade to adult. There are graphic novels, there's fiction, there's nonfiction. You're going to love it. Let's get into them. Hey, I'm Kathy Allen. I'm an avid reader and I want to share with you some great books just in case you are stuck in a reading slump or you are looking for something new. I actually guarantee that you haven't heard of all of these books. I'd be surprised if people have heard of half of them. Let me know in the comments below how many you've heard of. Let's get into the middle grade ones first. We've got The Secret Battle of Evan Powell. This stars Evan. He and his sister and his mother leave California. Something is going on there that gets revealed in the book, and they move to Virginia, where Evan goes to school at a place that has a huge Civil War celebration. He finds out that there are some Asian soldiers that participated in the Civil War. That doesn't make some people very happy though, including his teacher who has her own ideas about how this celebration should go, and frankly, some really racist townspeople and kids in his class. What I really loved about this is that it has lots of restorative justice elements in it, and it's such a realistic portrayal of middle school and kind of all of these problems that come up, and shows how racism obviously still affects our lives to this day. There are microaggressions and major aggressions against Evan and his family. I love Evan as a character and thought this was a really good read. Remember I said 12 books? Well, actually it's 13 because you should just read both of these because this one is first, this one is second, this one comes right after this one. This is The War That Saved My Life and The War I Finally Won. So in The War That Saved My Life, we have Ada, who's 10 years old. She's never left her one-bedroom apartment because she has a club foot and her mother has not done anything to be able to take care of that for her. When her younger brother gets sent to school and then hears that they're moving kids out to the country because World War is happening, Ada wants to go too. She teaches herself how to walk so she can go, and they get assigned to a house of a woman who has a farm, and Ada literally has never seen grass before. The way that she describes these things that we see every day is remarkable. You're going to fall in love with Ada and her brother Jamie and Susan, their caretaker, and like I said, you're going to want to read this one right after. An amazing historical fiction duology there. Brown Girl Dreaming. If you don't know Jacqueline Woodson, what's going on with you? Look at all of these awards that this has won. This is Jacqueline Woodson talking about growing up. This is in verse, and it is absolutely the most beautiful memoir that you are going to read. You're going to be inspired to write poetry after you read this too, and then you're going to look up all of the other books by Jacqueline Woodson, and you're going to read them, and you're going to have a good time. We're moving on to the young adult books. I'll Give You the Sun. Basically, if Jandy Nelson has written it, you need to read it. This book stars two twins, and we hear about them at 13 and at 16. So Noah is narrating at 13, Jude is narrating at 16. They were incredibly close at 13, and then something happened. And you have to read the book to find out, obviously, but this book has so much heart in it, love in it, art in it. These characters are going to stay with you literally forever. I have read this multiple times, and every time that I pick it up, I have to read it straight through, even though I know what's going to happen. I just can't put the world of these characters down, and the cover is really gorgeous. It is such a hopeful and heartbreaking read, so it's amazing. With the Fire on High, Elizabeth Acevedo. You cannot go wrong with anything by Elizabeth Acevedo. I particularly love this one because our main character, Imani, we get to see her life after being a teen who got pregnant. So she's got her kid, she's still living her dreams, she's an amazing cook, and she wants to go to Europe to learn more on this school trip. But how is she going to juggle that? Because she's got her daughter, she's got to figure out the finances for it. She has a talent for cooking where she can make people sort of feel things and revisit memories that they may have forgotten when she cooks something that's important to them. This is such a lovely book. The characters will stay with you for a long time, and be warned, you're going to want to eat a lot of delicious food when you read this. My Lady Jane is written by 3 authors, so you know it's going to be amazing. The quips, the wittiness, the humor, awesome. So do you know the story of Lady Jane Grey? Yeah, I didn't either, and I still enjoyed reading this book. She was an amazing person that got killed way too young, and this is a fictional take on that, where also people turn into animals. I think that's all I need to say. You're going to enjoy it. Trust me. Hey Kiddo by Jared J. Krasaska. If you ever see Jared J. Krasaska's name on anything, you should read it. He is an amazing artist and writer. And this is a graphic novel memoir. How I lost my mother, found my father, and dealt with family addiction. Let me show you some of the illustrations inside. This is about Jarrett growing up and living with his grandparents. His father is a mystery. His mom was an addict and is in and out of rehab and in and out of his life. It's so beautiful. You need to read it. The Serpent King. Do not be distracted by the scales on here, okay? Because this is not a fantasy novel. This is not about a king who rules serpents. No, this is about three best friends who live in Tennessee. We have Dill, we have Travis, we have Lydia. Dill's dad is a preacher who deals with snakes and is in a little bit of trouble with the law. And Dill's mom actually blames Dill for that, not the dad. So that's a whole nother issue. But Dill and Travis and Lydia, they are dreaming of getting out of their small town in different degrees. Lydia is like a fashion influencer, has a big following online, loves thrifting. Like she's definitely going to get out. Dill's not very sure if he will. Travis works for his family business, so he's not sure if he will. And these kids are so beautiful. Their relationships with each other are something that you would want every kid to have. And there is a part in this that made me cry that I can't think about too much. Don't listen to it on audiobook, okay? Or at least if you do, don't listen to it while you're driving, because I read the book and then I listened to it on audio and I forgot about the part where I was going to cry, and I was just crying in my car. Jeff Zentner writes amazing, realistic fiction about the South, about friendships, about found family. This is a treasure. Okay, we're moving on to the adult books. We have I Really Didn't Think This Through, Tales from My So-Called Adult Life. This is just a funny, little relatable sort of graphic novel, memoir, feelings sort of book that is just going to get you in your feels. You're not going to feel alone after you finish reading this, okay? So that's a good sell all on its own. Tiny Beautiful Things, Advice on Love and Life from Dear Sugar. Every person should read this book. There's advice in here that everyone is going to be able to take, and who doesn't love reading advice columns and other people's advice to other people when then you can like pick some out for yourself. It's beautifully written. You can dive in and out of it. There are gems on every page. Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. This is a personal growth book that you are actually going to enjoy. Yes, you know Shonda Rhimes. She is the talented creator of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, and she's a very busy person, as you are going to come to find out when you read this book. And she decides she's going to say yes this year because her family challenges her and says she never says yes to anything. Obviously, you can't say yes to everything, but it's really fun to read what happens to Shonda when she does, and it might inspire you to say yes to a few more things. And finally, we have Good Talk by Mira Jacob. This is a memoir in conversations. So this is a graphic novel, but it almost looks like pictures, which is really, really interesting. And it talks a lot about American identity, interracial families, the realities that divide us and bring us together. It's literally conversations. And you feel like you get drawn into this world. You are there with Mira Jacob. And I really, really like the art style. This is a really good intro to graphic novels too, because the panels are pretty big and it's pretty simple and easy to read. How many of those books did you know? How many have you read? Comment below and let me know. And if you like some of these books, you should definitely subscribe because you and I would be really great friends. I love all these books. Until next time, happy reading.